Final Cut is an amazing software that can do a lot of things, but it's always better to use it with the right plugins. Plugins are basically tools that you can integrate to Final Cut that will give you, even without much experience, a more professional look and will even save you a lot of time. If you want to get the ones that I will present you, they are all from mVFX, and I will leave you a link in the description if you want to get it. I'm not paid for saying this. I do that on my own will because I really like to use those plugins, but I do receive a commission when you use my links. So, if you use them, thank you. This will help me to create more videos just like this one. And the reason why I will only talk about mVFX is not only because it's the only plugin store that I'm affiliate with. It's also because for the last 2 years, it's the only store that I visit when I'm looking for a plugin for Final Cut. And there's few reasons for that. The reason number one is because everything they do is high quality. Before I discover them, in fact, that's them, they discover me, but whatever. Before that happened, I've tried so many websites that sell plugins, and some were good and some were not. Some just make my Final Cut crash so many times that I just stopped using it. Some were looking very good on the demo, but when I was starting to use it, it was just a nightmare to use, or it was just too much time consuming to get the result I wanted. Yet with mVFX, I'm very satisfied with pretty much everything I bought. Second reason is because their plugins are very easy to install, thanks to their little software that do all the job for you. If you already have installed a plugin from another website, you probably know what I'm talking about. They often come with a multi-page PDF or a couple minutes video to explain you how to make it work. And the next time you update Final Cut, you have to restart that process all over again and again and again. But not completely, because just a part of it is vanished, the other one is still there. And it's a nightmare every time you do an update. If you have a trouble with a plugin from mVFX, you open the software, you hit the repair button, and you wait a few seconds. That's it. Third reason, their plugins are frequently updated to remain compatible with the latest Final Cut update. This means that most of the time, you can feel free to make your Final Cut update, and if something is wrong, well, they're probably already working on the patch. So you can make sure that when you purchase a plugin from mVFX, you invest in something that will last you for a while. So the first plugin that I like to use is mArrow. Basically, it's just a bunch of arrows from various styles that you can just pick and drag on your timeline to point at something. What you see actually is pretty much all of them that I simply drop on a background to show you the style and the animation of all of them. Maybe it would make more sense if I was doing a real example of me speaking to you right now and wanted to talk to you about my watch. So, see? Well, I point my watch and yeah, that's an arrow. The process of using it is very simple. You got a huge library of arrow. You pick the one you want. You drag it on the timeline. You adjust how long you want to keep it. Then you can play with the position, the scale, the rotation, the color. If you enable the drop shadow, you can even play with the opacity, the blur, the distance, the angle. You can also enable or disable the built-in and out animation. And that's it! You got an animated arrow. The second one will be mLogo. So you got yourself a logo. That's great. But how to use it in a video? You want to animate it. You don't want to just... You want an animation, something mLogo is here for that. These are just some of the examples of what you can do. The animation is already pre-made, but you can change a lot of things from the color, the background, the glow, the size, the text, the opacity. You can fully disable the background if you want to. With mLogo, you just take an animation, you drag your logo inside, do some tweaking if you'd like to, and that's it. It's perfect for a bold intro or outro, or maybe just to display your logo in the corner of a video. The third one is mLowerbar. This one is perfect if you just want to add an information to support what you say, or maybe just to add a simple information in a corner of the screen. I could actually use it to present myself just right now with that beautiful animation. Or maybe I can show you that video of St. Lawrence River, and while I'm talking to you about it, I realize that I forget to say in what country this is. Well, I can use the lower bar to display that information. Or maybe I'm talking to you about a device, but I forget to say the name of that device, and I was talking about another device before, and I want to make sure that you understand that this is the one that I'm presenting to you. So yes, I can use mLowerbar to display the name of that device you're actually seeing. There are so many to choose from, and they are all cohesive. In fact, even better, the size of the lower bar adjusts automatically with the text you insert. Again, it's the same principle. You choose the one you want from the library and you personalize it the way you want, and that's it. The fourth one is mTitleCinematic. It's a bit of the same principle of the previous one, but with titles that look more cinematic. It's better for cinematic video like a movie, a short film, a documentary, something serious. You got a bunch of style to choose from that you can simply drag on your timeline, and of course you can adjust it the way you want. The fifth one is very similar. It's mTitle Hype. So it's the same principle, but punchier. Better for an ad, a vlog, a music video, stuff like that. Sixth is one of my favorites, mTracker. This one requires a lot more time investment to get something you will be proud of, but it's still very easy to use. It's just that it requires more preparation and calculation time for your computer, but the result you get at the end worth it so much. I personally only use it for text, but you can track pretty much anything. There is some title pack, the emoji pack, there's also an area pack to do stuff like this. If you want to track an object, like my hand right now, for example, note that Motion VFX doesn't have any solution for you yet. Seventh will be mTuber. This one is a very good starting kit if you're doing YouTube video. It comes with some background, call to action buttons. There's also that beautiful chapter bar that you can use at the bottom of your screen, but I never use it because it's too much time consuming. You got corner screen with drop zone. Like we saw earlier, you got some animation for your logo. You also got animation for your social media. You got tools to point something or to indicate something. Or one of my favorite, the zoom, which is so well animated. You also got some titles in the lower thirds, and you finally got some transition, but those one, I'm not convinced about it. Basically, you got a bit of everything of all we saw in the previous plugins except the tracker. Fewer choice, but more categories. That's a great starter kit with cohesive animation. Now, this 8th one is a bit like the previous. It's mTutorials. You got a bit of everything, but this one is really made for tutorials. If you need to explain something, this one will have the effect you need to identify what you're talking about. Let's see a bit of everything we have in here. First of all, we got a couple of animated background that you can use to show some graphic, a picture, or anything you want. Then we got a tool super useful to display your keyboard shortcut. We got another one to create a circle, and you can set it to the shape you want. One other for shortcut, but this one is made to display both Windows and macOS at the same time. Then we got a couple of magnifying glass to add evidence on your subject. Some will zoom in, some not. There is one other zoom that I really like. You also got some transition, just like this one. I'm not really into transition, but this one, I really liked it. Then there is this highlighter, or there's also that framer. Or even that other highlighter. There's a huge series of frames that can help you to explain something in a photography tutorial, for example. It's a pack of grid, rulers, frame, dividing line. There's also many titles, buttons, listing frames, graphics, and counter. There is pre-made page with drop zone so you can present people, object, or anything you want. You got a series of title to present your chapter. This page is made to compare stuff. I already used it a couple of times. That gallery is also very well done if you have a lot to display. There's a group of virtual cursor and magnifying glass to help you point at something. And finally, there is some other title to cut your chapters. It really is a huge plugin with a wide variety of options, perfect for your tutorials. Last but not least, and this one is free. Yes, free. It's mVertical, and this one is perfect if you have a vertical video to integrate into a 16:9 video. For example, if I film myself with my cell phone just like that, and I integrate that video into this 16:9 video, it looks like this. It's not so great. So if you just had mVertical, it looked like this instantly. So I think it looks better than the black bars. So this was the plugins that I use the most. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, there is the link in the description if you want to get them. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to use the comment below. In the meantime, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in another video. See ya.